and I will keep them going. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Hello to everybody that's watching wherever you are. I'm Kamari Ellis, and you're watching the Finance Rebel Show. Today's show, or tonight's show rather, is our weekly Q&A. So anybody have any questions, any questions about money, stocks, investments, tax, business, what's going on down in the White House in regards to tax and stimulus packages, I'm here for it. Not going to be on super duper long tonight. I got a lot of work to do. I got some interviews tomorrow, and I got to bone up on those. I got to study up, do my research on those. But I wanted to talk to folks because it's what we do every week. Every week on Wednesday, usually I try to do 7 o'clock. Today, y'all see what time it is. It's 9. And so I was thinking about potentially moving back to maybe like 8, moving an hour back to like maybe 8, but I'm not sure yet. But y'all chime in. Do y'all think it would be better for me to come in at 7, 8, 9 every week? Rebel on IG in the Hills, DJ, how are you? So, like I said, every week we do this thing. So first question, is stimulus going to be taxed? Is the stimulus checks going to be taxed? Now, I've talked about this before, and I don't know who folks are listening to, but I wish I had a microphone that made noise like, hello, is anybody listening? Stimulus checks will not be taxed. Stimulus checks will not be taxed. Please stop listening to folks who are not real tax professionals, or at least financial professionals, because most times they get it wrong. So, again, stimulus checks will not be taxed. Now, keeping along the same vein, same line with stimulus checks, I don't know if anybody saw it, but the White House said that senior citizens will now have to file a tax return in order to get their stimulus. That's right. After they had promised that they would find a different workaround for senior citizens that are on Social Security to file their taxes. Well, about an hour later, the Treasury Department gave guidance and said that that's null and void. So we can't even really get clear leadership out of the White House. I mean, within an hour, you have one edict or one mandate, and then an hour later, you got something totally different. So, that begs you to think, who are you voting for? And yes, voting matters. I'm not going to go on a whole political diatribe about it, but we see how Corona is being handled. We see it's not being handled well. You wonder why. I don't. We got somebody in the house. And so hopefully you guys tell everybody to vote. All right, but listen, today, first day of second quarter, today, stock market drops 1,000 points. So we're starting the second quarter with a bang, but guess what? You still can make money. You still can do things. Life doesn't stop because stock market drops. Life doesn't stop because we have an inept person in the White House. All right. Now, if anybody's brand new just watching, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Finance Rebel Show. I tend to come on almost every day of the week. However, on Wednesdays, I reserve Wednesdays for Q&A. So today's Q&A, any questions you might have, throw them up. I'm broadcasting live on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So got a couple of shout outs. Hey, Chandra Daniels, that's my homegirl right there. Chandra up in New York. I hope you are safe up there. I hope you are doing well. Hey, Shannon. How are you, Shannon? I hope everybody is doing well. All right. So listen, again, stimulus checks, not taxed. All right. So don't worry about that. Other thing I want people to be aware of, right? Tax day is usually April 15th. Tax day got pushed back, right, to July 15th because of everything and all the craziness that's going on in the world. It got pushed back to July 15th. However, and this is a very big however, all the states are not following the federal mandate. I think Hawaii is doing something like August. I believe Maryland has their own day. A lot of the other states are not following what the IRS is doing. They're not following the IRS direction. So be sure to file or check with your state to see when you need to file your taxes, your state taxes. Again, Everybody is not, or excuse me, all states are not following the IRS lead. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. What's the self-employment grant that I know? What is the self-employment grant? Do you know anything about it? There's a couple of things going on through the SBA. There's one thing, actually, I was sending the news around to a lot of my clients and friends today who are in business. It's called the economic injury. What is the name of that thing? It's EIDL, economic injury something loss. And I'll be sure to put the link to the SBA in the chat. So what that is, it's a loan for business owners, whether you are a sole proprietorship, whether you are a corporation, depending on what level, how many employees you have. They're looking at 500 and above. They're looking at 500 and below. They're looking at average gig workers, Uber workers, things like that. And it's encouraging people to file for these benefits. They're looking to give out $10,000 to 1 million applicants. And the requirements for this loan are pretty loose. So I'm not going to sit there and try to guarantee that everybody's going to get it, but it takes like 5 minutes to apply. And I think everybody should at least apply. And again, I will put that link. I'll put that link in the comments below. Thank you. Shut up, just train. Economic industry disaster loan, economic injury disaster loan. But thank you for that. You just cued me on that because I was really drawing a blank. I haven't seen anything based on credit. With that, it's been pretty wide. Like the requirements are pretty wide. So I suggest everybody to apply. Again, it takes 5 minutes. So either you get it or you don't, right? Supposedly they get the money out in 3 days. However, right, if you don't apply, you'll never know if you're eligible in the first place. So a lot of times people don't apply for stuff and they miss out on opportunities. So listen, if the government's going to give you 10 grand in this time, I would take it. I would run. Doesn't mean you got to spend it. You can put it in the cut for a rainy day. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Right. So, you just got to keep all these things in play. Are there any cons of getting the stimulus? I don't see any cons of getting the stimulus. None whatsoever. LFA, how are you? I see no cons to getting stimulus whatsoever. I think it's a good thing. Let's see. Okay, so Helena's on Facebook. She said she got kicked off the game on Sunday. So listen, if you guys want a place to talk about money all day long, where I'm at all day long talking about money, come to Facebook, come to the Finance Rebel Academy. It's totally free. I try to get near engaged every day or almost every day. And we do things like play games, like money games, like cash flow. If anybody doesn't know what cash flow is, and the technical name of it is Cash Flow 101. Cash Flow 101 is a game created by Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm sure everybody's heard the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, but he created a really cool game called Cash Flow 101. It's like Monopoly on steroids. And so if you ever get an opportunity to join the Finance Rebel Academy, you should do so. But also, I'm telling you about this game now. It's a great game for you to play with your loved ones, your family, and your kids. It can definitely help you improve your financial IQ. And, that's what the show is all about. And I feel that as people truly understand finance and economics and business, they'll be able to make better moves, make better decisions. So that's what we're all about. So again, search Finance Rebel Academy on Facebook. Come on over. We'll probably schedule some more games. You can only play 6 at a time. I had multiple games going at the same time. That wasn't my plan, but that was how many people showed up. So everybody's kind of looking for something to do. And I wanted to try to provide a good option. All right. Winning Motivation 2018. Are there any cons? All right. I read that already. Are there any cons? Officially Unleashed. How are you, bro? Hey. There seems to be, so Shut Up Just Train says there seems to be a misconception that it's a grant. Okay, here's the deal. Some of these loans will be forgiven. So they are saying right now, okay? Some of the loans will be forgiven. So, and they do have other grants and other loans that have other credit requirements, other financial reporting requirements, but the one that I'm sharing with you all tonight doesn't have any of that. And so, again, it's just an emergency cash injection. It's just into the economy. They're trying to get money to everyday people, to business owners, to keep the economy going. I mean, a lot of people are getting laid off. They are expecting 3 million people to be laid off, or 3 million people to be receiving unemployment during this next report that comes out. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. We're seeing coronavirus infection spike, and I believe it's spiking because a lot of people are getting tested, right? So a lot more people are getting tested. There weren't many tests available before. So it's normal to see a spike, in my opinion. I think that's a normal thing. I'm not going to say a good thing, but I think it's a normal thing. I'm well, bro. All is well. Oh, yeah, Rebel on High Hills was there. She didn't get to play. So, DJ, what day should we do another game? Another game day. Hi, Shani. How are you? And yes, we do need to do the census. Please, 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 everybody, fill out your census. A lot of us are home. Most of us are home. Please fill out your census. Listen, that's how resources are divvied out. You probably heard a lot about gerrymandering and how they're realigning districts to be more favorable to whatever party, right? Because I really don't give a damn about a party. Both of them have shenanigans. The Republicans obviously are the worst right now, just to keep it 100. However, that's the mechanism they use to divvy out resources from the federal government. Please do your census. Please do your census. It's so vital. That's how public schools get money. That's how a lot of times our transit authorities get money. It's so many things that it affects the census. All right, so please fill out your census. Mika Preston, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. Saturday, you want to do a Saturday? All right, maybe. I got to double check the calendar and see if I'm traveling anywhere. So, Helena, are you down with Saturday? Anybody else down with Saturday? I see a few of my Rebel family are on with me tonight. I wouldn't mind Saturday. So, again, any questions you might have, throw them in the chat. Whether they be tax related, whether they be business related, whether they be stock related, throw them in the chat. Again, I'm broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So I am tri-casting, I guess, if that's even a word. But again, I was just talking a little bit earlier about how the changes occurred in the White House within basically a few hours. All right, so Helena says yes for Saturday. All right, Saturday. Now, listen, Helena and DJ, I want y'all to be so good that y'all can lead some games when I'm not there, right? Or if we have an overflow. So, DJ, I know you played a few times. Helena, I think this your first time playing? But either way, I need some help. So, come on, let's get to it. It was fun. We could all have fun together. Again, stock market dropped today. Again, we're starting the second quarter off with a bang. Market drop. But again, I'm not worried about the market. I've been encouraging everybody to invest. I still think a great time is to invest. But I want to be really, really clear because somebody has said a few things to me. When I say now is a great time to invest, I am talking about dollar cost averaging. So for all of you that don't know what dollar cost averaging is, I want you to look it up. All right. Basically, dollar cost averaging is when you take a set amount of money and you put it into the market or you invest it the same amount over time. A great example of dollar cost averaging is what people do in their 401ks. Now, 70% of the U.S. economy is run off of consumer spending. Why? Because they train us, consumers, U.S. citizens or residents, to buy. But guess what? If you're always buying, you'll never do anything to build reserves and to become wealthy. All right. So dollar cost averaging, like your 401k, take some money and put it aside into the market. I'm talking a little bit of money. I'm not talking about $50,000. You know, I tell people all the time, I brought $10 worth of Amazon, and that I can't use it. I brought $10 worth of Amazon, and yesterday, my $10, I brought it in November of 2019. My $10 worth of Amazon was it was now worth $11.37. And you might say, wow, that's not a whole lot of money. But could you put $10 in the bank and get back $1.37 in that same time frame? When you go to Starbucks and you spend $10, will they give you back $11.37 over the next 3-4 months? Probably not. So the whole point of investing is giving your money the opportunity to grow, or at least a chance to grow, right? When you spend it at a Starbucks, on a pair of Jordans, you know, I've been talking about Jordans a lot lately, you're never going to get that money back. However, when you buy stock, you at least have the opportunity for it to grow over the long term. So everything I talk about when I talk stocks, when I talk investments, I'm talking 10 years, folks. I'm not talking about trying to get any instantaneous lottery ticket. I know everybody wants to get rich overnight real quick, but it never works like that. And if you see the folks that do win the mega lottery, they typically go broke. Why do they go broke? Because they weren't ready for that level of money in the first place. You really have to be ready emotionally, physically, psychologically, emotionally to get that big of a bang of money or that big of a drop of money. So when folks talk about getting the bag or they get in the bag, they're not getting it overnight. They never got it overnight. You know, there's really no such thing as an overnight success. Those overnight successes are 10 and 20-year journeys. So, you know, I want you to think about that. So BMW 90 asks, what do you think about Forex trading? Forex trading is hot tonight. Why are you asking me about Forex trading, BMW 90? Now, I'm asking you because I literally just answered that question. I just answered that question. I don't know, y'all, was that less than 5 minutes ago? So is there something that's happening in the Forex market that's going on that I might have missed? I can't catch everything. Now, Shannon Robinson on Facebook asks, how do I feel about cannabis stock? I think cannabis is a great long-term investment. It's not legal here in the United States. The United States is the biggest market around the world, right? The United States is the biggest market around the world. There are companies, however, that are making money. Cannabis sales, marijuana sales, Mary Jane sales, weed sales have been up during quarantine time, right? Whatever you want to call it. They all have been up during quarantine time. So I think cannabis companies will make money in the long run. I think cannabis companies will be very profitable, but it's not going to happen overnight. You'll probably get to see some shakeup in the market because you got a couple big players out there. You got Tilray, you got Aurora, you got Canopy. There are a lot of them. For people who are brand new to investing, I tell them don't buy any of those. I tell them to buy the ETF. So there's an ETF that buys most of the cannabis. And as you start to do your research and learn how to do research and get familiar with the companies, then you can kind of hone in and figure out which ones you like best, right? But, you know, there's an opportunity to buy into cannabis through an ETF. Does everybody know what an ETF is? An exchange traded fund. I just got that question yesterday. I get it a lot, right? So if you can think about a cup or a bucket, ETFs are just like holders in it. I just have water in here, right? And so, you know, when I pour water in here, or when you pour, you know, stocks in there, bonds in there, gold, silver, even some commodities like cattle and coffee. Those are some things you can you use to buy ETFs for, right? So if I wanted to buy the Japanese yen, if I felt, because we're talking about Forex, so I'm gonna tie this all together. So if I felt great about the Japanese yen, and the yen has been, you know what, it's been weakening, but then I saw it strengthen a little bit. But if I thought the Japanese yen was going to weaken against the US dollar, there's an ETF out there for that. Actually, there's an ETF out there for the inverse as well. If the Japanese yen strengthens against the US dollar, not gets weaker against the US dollar. There's an ETF out there if you wanted to buy all gold mining companies, right? Because a lot of people have been asking questions about gold. I tell people all the time, I would rather buy a gold miner versus buying gold. They typically are very well correlated, meaning they kind of move together. And to me, there's more money making opportunities in the gold miners versus gold. I'm trying to think. So if you wanted to buy bonds, bonds are like notes or loans to companies and governments. The safest bonds around the world are U.S. Treasury bonds. People tend to buy U.S. Treasury bonds when things like this are going on. So if you ever hear them talk about the 10-year has moved below 1%, or the 10-year is now below 80 basis points, when the rates go down, that means people are buying. So bonds work kind of the opposite than stocks. But again, you can find all of those inside of ETF. So I don't have a problem with ETFs. I've written about ETFs. Some people will say I'm an expert in ETFs because the portfolios that I used to manage had several millions of dollars of money that I managed in ETFs. All right. So that's what I have to say about cannabis stocks. I think they can be good, but it's long term. I wouldn't try to get in and out. I wouldn't try to get fancy. If you're branded to the markets, buy for the long term. If you believe the U.S. economy is always going to continue to grow or always do well, buy the stock market. It's almost a perfect way to make money in the stock market. So BMW United says he asked about Forex because I have a friend who's into this company who trains on that, and I'm interested as a hustle. So listen, I'm not really into telling people what to do with their money, but I will say, be careful. A lot of time, everybody means something different when they say hustle, right? Some people mean that, they're going to work hard. Some people mean they're just looking at it as temporary money. Whatever you do with it, make sure it's money you can afford to lose. All right, make sure it's money you can afford to lose. If you can't afford to lose the money, don't invest it. All right, put it aside, put it under a mattress, put it in a coin jar, do something else. All right, but again, I don't have a problem with Forex. Again, but what people don't realize is that, and I've seen this time and time and time again, you have to be emotionally really strong, like really strong. And I'm not saying you're weak, but like there's different types of people and different types of personalities. For example, I will be, or I am, or had been a terrible property manager for real estate. I used to manage about 50 doors, 50 units. Terrible. Now, I'm not terrible at organizing the workers and getting the work done. Oftentimes, I was terrible with dealing with many of my tenants. All right, because I guess I got a big heart. So there's been some tenants that have gotten over on me because they were in rough situations. But when you're a property manager, you got to do your job. But that's something I know I have to be honest with myself, right? So again, don't go and invest into something that you can't afford to lose that money, or don't go invest into something you can't wait to get that money back. So that's why I say, if you're brand new to investing, don't go try to dump your whole life savings. Don't try to cash out your 401k and buy something that you think is hot, that you think is going to make you rich overnight. 9 times out of 10, it's not. Probably 99.99% of the time out of 100, it's going to make you broke. So just think about that. But again, it can be a beautiful thing if you really take your time and learn and study. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right. So I saw a couple more. I got Acorn. I hope that's a good start. Yeah, I think Acorn is great. Acorn, I use Acorn like a forced savings account or a different savings account. Acorn basically takes change from your transactions that you give them permission to. It's an app. It's a phone-based app. They'll tap into your bank accounts. They'll round up all your purchases. For example, let's say I spent $9.97 at Starbucks. Well, they'll take the 3 cents to round it up to 10, and they'll put it into an investment account for me. You can do some other things with it as well, but that's kind of the gist. So I have no problem with Acorn. Again, I've been telling everybody though, start with what you love, right? You can literally go on Cash App, right? I want to make a point of clarity right now. I was saying Robinhood and Cash App. Robinhood has a waiting list for their fractional shares. All right. That's how I was able to buy $10 of Amazon because I bought it a piece of an Amazon stock. All right. So you can't really do that on Robinhood right now. So I'm going to say stick with Cash App. Cash App is run by a wonderful company that has a whole lot of money. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. And a lot of people use Cash App. So if you like Nikes, go buy $10 worth of Nike. If you like Apple, go buy yourself $10 worth of Apple. By the way, none of these are investment recommendations, all right? Talk to your investment advisor, tax planner before you make any decisions. Everything I do is for educational and entertainment purposes only, all right? Educational and entertainment purposes only. So keep that in mind, all right? You can go and start your own investment portfolio, your stock portfolio with $1. So you don't have to have $1 million like we used to have back in the day, where they only allowed, people that wore gray suits, white shirts, and black ties that were white with gray hair to invest in the market. Anybody can do it now. Anybody can do it now. And I encourage all of y'all to do it right now, because the last time we had a major panic in 2007, 2008, 2009, the stock market dropped fiercely, right? But it bounced back really hard too. And so it's been riding from 09 to March of 09 till about a month and a half ago. And now we're seeing all this fall and all this carnage and all this blood on the street now. But guess what? It'll be back. Will we have some rough days? Yes, I told you I was going to have some rough days. We had 3 or 4 good days last week. A lot of people was getting excited. Do you think it's over? No, it's not over. It's not over. It's not over. It is not over. So don't get. Hey, Sonny, how are you? I appreciate you. Sonny always calls me Tax Black Jesus, and I just get I get the biggest laugh out of that, Tax Black Jesus. So that's always hilarious. So yeah, BMW 90. Just if you want to get into it, get into it. Did I check out Hood Estates? I've heard of Hood Estates. I hear they're doing a lot of good things, but I don't really know a whole lot of them. Mayo. I hope I'm not messing up your name, but hello, welcome to the this week's weekly Q&A. And Helena had another question. How are the stock markets looking for aerospace, such as Lockheed Martin? Well, Lockheed Martin isn't just aerospace, it's also defense. So I would say Lockheed Martin is fine. They're going to have some bumps and bruises. I'll look them up now. Matter of fact, what I'll do is, let me see if I can pull it up on the screen. I'll pull up Lockheed Martin on the screen. Anybody know Lockheed Martin's ticker symbol? I want to say it's LMD. If you know, put it in the chat. I'll do some stock reviews on that, but I'm not going to do a whole lot. Let's see. LMT is Lockheed's. LMT. Nobody help me out. Oh man, I was looking for some help. Just saw a question. Ask Cassandra Parker. Cassandra asked, "What is an EFT?" Cassandra, I think you're talking about an ETF. I literally just explained that, but give me a minute. I will explain it again. Give me 1 second. Hi, BBY. Des, how are you, Des? How you doing? How you been? Happy belated birthday again. All right, so I'm going to look up Lockheed. If you are on YouTube and Facebook, you'll be able to see this. My IG folks, if you want to see this, just go follow me on YouTube or Facebook. So give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the chart. The internets were running a little crazy today. So it seems like everything was slow. And with y'all's president, you know, he don't make nothing better. So give me 1 second. Well, while I'm pulling it up, Helena, while I'm pulling it up, I will address Cassandra. Oh, Cassandra, you're a Steelers girl. You from the Berg? Well, I'm from Philly, so you already know what that means. So I'm not gonna hold your Steelers Nation position against you. Oh man, I think you asked me that question last week, BMW 90. So what is an ETF? All right, hey Kelly, everybody. Kelly's my homegirl. Kelly has a business, kellyscloset.net. She makes lingerie for what I like to say for thick women, but it's actually for plus size women. So everybody go check Kelly out. She's got a great business, great store. Go check her out. kellyscloset.net, right? I think. And Kelly, one day you're gonna have to come do a live with me. Are you in Memphis, but you just like the Steelers? All right, it's all good. So an ETF, right? An ETF, think of an ETF like a basket. And it's a basket of, say, stocks, bonds, currency, commodities, futures. It holds various different things. You have over 1,500 ETFs right now. That number might be slightly off, but there are a lot of them. You have some ETFs that will only buy gold miners. That's called GDX. The ticker symbol for that is GDX. You have some ETFs that will only buy dividend-paying stocks. You have some ETFs that will only buy preferred shares in a company. How many of y'all know what preferred shares are? If y'all know what preferred shares are, throw a yes in the chat. Many ETFs will hold gold, like literally gold. They will hold currencies like the yen, the Swiss franc, the pound, the euro. So you can literally invest in any of those investment tools, right, that normally you couldn't get access to or is potentially a little hard to get to. So ETFs are like the next generation of great investments. I love ETFs. Again, I told everybody else, some people consider me an ETF expert because I spend a lot of time managing them, writing about them. So I think ETFs are great. Most people, though, use mutual funds in their, most people invest in mutual funds still. Most people still use mutual funds in their 401ks. So the public is still loving mutual funds. However, ETFs are like the cousin to the mutual fund, and they're gaining a lot of traction. They've been gaining a lot of traction. So I would look into ETFs. I mean, I actually have some videos on YouTube defining and explaining what ETFs are and basically the overall investment process overall. So if you wanted to do a deeper dive, I got a whole library free of charge that you can check out. But was there anything else specifically about ETFs that you wanted to ask me, Ms. Parker? And while Ms. Parker replies back, feel free again to throw up any questions. Ms. K, the student, how are you? Welcome. Oh, you know what? I didn't share the screen yet. So let's do this. Let me share my screen. So again, while we're waiting, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in. If you're just joining, I'm Kamari Ellis, the Finance Rebel. Every week on Wednesday, usually at 7. Today I started at 9, but usually at 7 I do my weekly Q&A. People can just come in and ask questions, and I will answer them. Any question related to money, I'll answer it. Stocks, tax, investments, real estate, business, I'll answer it. I've got over 20 years experience in financial services across the county, financial advising, Wall Street investing. So I pretty much have covered the entire gambit. And my screen sharing is taking a long time. Again, if you know somebody who is looking to increase their financial IQ, that's what we're here to do. Share this with them. I'm actually looking to grow my YouTube channel, and people say I don't promote myself enough. So if everybody could go subscribe to my YouTube channel, that will be very, very appreciated. YouTube channel is youtube.com/Kamari. And I'm getting client emails this late at night. But, people don't sleep. But /Kamari. Kamari is CAMARIELLIS. And I'm not sure why my screen is taking so long to share. I think I might be in trouble. I think I'm getting a non-response. So I might not be able to show the chart. I might have to just walk you through it. And I hate to do that because I don't know. I think that's kind of boring. Y'all think that's boring? Me talking about the chart of a stock or the price of the stock? I can do that while my machine figures out what it wants to do as it has a temper tantrum. So give me 1 second. Again, any other questions? I might not be able to get them on Facebook and YouTube at this very moment. But IG, I'm still with you. So LMT, Helena asked me to look up LMT. She has my thoughts on LMT. Lamont Harris, how are you, sir? So LMT closed today at $338.52. All right, thank you, BMW 90. Appreciate you. Invite a friend too. Since I'm asking for help, invite a friend or share with a friend. All right. Lockheed Martin pays a 2.84% dividend. All right. So for every dollar you invest, you'll get back just in dividends, right? Not stock price movement, just the dividends. You'll get back $1.84 for every dollar you invest in Lockheed Martin. I know people are probably saying, well, that sucker's expensive. It is. It's also a $95 billion company. All right, $95 billion company. Does everybody know what Lockheed Martin does? I just said it, but I'm curious to know, does everybody know what they do? If you do, put it in the chat. And my computer is still on the fritz. All right, so Lockheed Martin Corporation is a security and aerospace company, right? So remember I said defense. Well, security is the buzzword for defense, all right? The company operates through 4 segments. Aeronautics segment is engaged in the research, design, development, manufacture, integration, sustainment, support, and upgrade of military aircraft. You see how they interwove that? All right. Including combat and air mobility aircraft, unmanned, so drones, right? Unmanned air vehicles and related technologies. Missiles and Fire Control segment provides air and missile defense systems, fire control systems, manned and unmanned ground vehicles, and energy management solutions, service and support for a range of military and civil helicopters, mission systems, and sensors for rotary and fixed-wing aircraft, simulation and training services, and unmanned systems and technologies, among others. Space Systems segment is engaged in the research and development, design, engineering, and production of... Oh, cut off on me. Now, every time we're talking about a stock, we're trying to evaluate, is it a good stock to invest in or a bad stock to invest in? So the question is, do you think this company can make money? Or do you think this company makes money? So y'all tell me, y'all think this company makes money? So nobody knows. Nobody knows if this company makes money. This company makes money. This company makes hands over fists. All right. Last year, they did $59 billion in revenue. And when it was all said and done, they walked away with $9 billion to put in their pockets. So they're highly profitable, highly, highly profitable. Now, year to date, so since January 1 till now, they are down about 13%. But guess what? Their revenue's not down. All their revenue's tied up in contracts, right? So do you really think this company is a steal right now? Is it on sale? You think it's a good buy? You know they're going to continue to make money now. I don't have enough information to truly say if I think, in my opinion, it's a good company or not. However, these guys are making a boatload of money. And I believe because most of their money comes through government contracts, they're going to be around for a very, very, very long time. A very long time. And so I would potentially look for them, especially with everything that's going on. There's still a lot of unrest going on around the world where you might see government intervention. The U.S. just struck Iran not too long ago. I don't think that's over. There's a lot of stuff still going on. And so I think my machine has quit on me. The wholesale king, how are you, sir?